Right now at 6, Oregon's capital city rattled by gunfire outside a supermarket.
The gun violence, the gang violence, all the hate is just, it's horrible.
What a witness saw just before 3 people were shot. Plus,
see if we can make those in-person connections here on the street to hopefully steer people into recovery.
why data shows a pilot project where police connect drug users with treatment could be difficult to expand. And the cleanup continues.
People are having to pay a premium to get critical work done.
As bills and anxiety in some spots keep going up. Good evening. First at 6, gunfire erupts outside of a grocery store in Salem, leaving 3 people hurt and a community shaken. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm David Molko. Those shots were fired this morning in a Fred Meyer parking lot just off I-5 on the city's east side. And that is where we find our Daisy Caballero tonight. So, Daisy, what is the latest?
Well, David, it's still an active scene out here. You can still see some of the red crime tape and also some of those police vehicles. But I want to show you all this. Crime investigators have been spending a lot of time focusing on this white car all day. So here's what we know right now. 3 people were taken to Salem Health for medical treatment for gunshot wounds. A man and a woman in their 30s and another man in his late 20s. By the time our KGW crew got here, all entrances to the east side of the parking lot were blocked by crime tape. Crime scene investigators have been focusing on, like we said, this white car without a license plate. They placed several evidence markers around the vehicle while placing other items from the car in paper bags. I spoke with a gentleman who said he saw exactly what happened. He told me he saw a woman and 2 men fighting outside of that white car, and shortly after, he heard 3 gunshots. She started screaming when they shot her the first time. Then she ran to the other side of the car. So they hit her 3 times on her backside. Then I thought they're gonna hit me. So I ran inside and told my manager someone is shooting a gun. Jesus says the shooter waited about 30 seconds after the initial gunshot. 2 others quickly followed after that. Salem police say the names of the individuals have not been released. They also add the woman and 1 of the men remain hospitalized. Now, the Fred Meyer's here, of course, is still open to the public, and a spokesperson with Fred Meyer actually says that they are incredibly saddened by this incident that happened in the parking lot, and they are working with local law enforcement. Back to you, David.
Yeah, you can certainly understand why. Daisy Caballero in Salem tonight. Thank you, Daisy. Let's get to your headlines this evening. 2 people are dead after they were hit and killed while crossing streets in the Portland metro. The first was in Vancouver just before 7 Sunday evening at Northeast 4th Plain and 137th. Police say a 67-year-old man was not in a crosswalk when he was hit by a pickup. The driver who hit him stopped, but authorities say a second driver who tried to get around the backup swerved, ran over that man, and then took off. And then in Gresham, a person was struck by 2 vehicles while trying to cross East Burnside at North Main around 3:30 this morning. Both drivers in that case also took off. A Gresham man is facing a host of federal drug and firearm charges after an international investigation led to a raid on his home. According to court documents, a shipment of MDMA from the Netherlands was intercepted at Los Angeles International LAX, addressed to a James Settler in Gresham. Detectives then learned that name was an alias used by 38-year-old Riley James Hines. On Friday, federal officers searched his home. They say they recovered at least 15 different narcotics, drug processing tools, packaging materials, 42 guns, and 6 sets of body armor. Hines appeared in court today and was ordered to stay in custody while awaiting trial. In Astoria, several homes are still moving after Saturday's mudslide. Some have been red tagged with "Do Not Occupy" signs, and out front in spots, the street is buckling. Neighbors tell us they've noticed more mud and water flowing down the hill, with homes now shifting off their foundations. Scott Ames has lived on this block for 20 years.
It was like my worst nightmare, pretty much. I've been worried about the possibility of this happening for a long time. There's constant activity on the hillside, all over town, especially on this slope on the east end.
Well, the city is monitoring that slide and escorting residents who need to return home to pick up their belongings. And for the first time since the snow and ice storm, students in the Mount Pleasant School District in Washougal will finally be returning to campus. That'll happen tomorrow, but they're going to be in class in the cafeteria, the gym, and in portables because classrooms in the main building still need repairs. A little good news, though, this evening. District officials say asbestos testing, which they were worried about, came back negative, so repairs can proceed a little bit faster. Joe?
Well, David, we are tracking some changes heading into your Tuesday morning commute. Basically, some areas of patchy fog with a little bit of some light showers at times. We're already starting to see some of those light showers move in along the central Oregon coast at this hour. Again, rainfall amounts are going to be pretty light, and if you're trying to plan your Tuesday, yeah, it's going to be more dry than wet, maybe a 1/10 of an inch of rain if we're lucky. Right now, we're seeing daytime highs topping out for, the third day in a row with highs close to 60 degrees. Over the weekend, many locations saw record-breaking temperatures inching close to the mid to the upper 60s. Eugene got close to 70 degrees, although it was a little bit cooler throughout the metro area this afternoon, still about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Tomorrow looks like this. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s, potentially to the low 60s. This model is showing that we're going to be topping out in the mid 50s. I think it'll be just a little bit warmer than that. And as we look at your hour by hour forecast, dry the rest of your Monday night, but heading into early Tuesday morning, basically just after midnight, we'll start to see a return of those showers, and heading into Wednesday, heavier amounts of rain will start to move back into the picture. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
Hey, we'll take the 50s, though. Thank you, Joe. The new info tonight out of Salem, where a family is grieving the loss of a young man who authorities say was shot and killed in his vehicle. Today, we spoke with the sister of Jesus Ramos Torres. She described her 23-year-old brother as someone who loved his family and would help anybody out. Ramos Torres was living with his parents, helped his dad buy and sell sports cars. Now, around 1:30 Thursday morning, a Salem police officer responded to a report of a gunfire on Cordon Road Southeast. That is where police say they found Ramos Torres shot to death inside a vehicle, the car still in the road.
We really want to know who and whoever did it and whoever was involved in it, to pay for this. He was very young. He was barely starting to spread his wings.
Police released this picture showing Jesus Ramos Torres and the 2017 Lexus he was driving at the time. The family asks that anyone with information immediately call Salem Police. We are following up tonight on Portland's first responders who are trying a new strategy when it comes to combating the addiction crisis downtown. Now, you might remember police started a pilot program about a month ago where they connect willing drug users with outreach workers. Blair Best with our progress report.
There's a deadly crisis on Portland streets, and it's always on the move.
When you're out here, it's not easy.
The latest spot for drug use, Southwest Park Avenue and Columbia Street, right across from Safeway.
I mean, it could be the grocery store, a lot of stealing going on, and people are getting daily household needs and trading for drugs.
I'd say it's pretty severe.
As Dennis points out, one doesn't have to look far to see how the aftermath of addiction has taken over the sidewalks there.
There's a syringe right there on the ground. I mean, if you walk around this corner and walk around this block, you'll see 20, 30 different people that are, using drugs or trying to cop drugs.
We need help out here. You know what I mean? We need help.
Last month, Portland police launched a new approach to addiction by connecting drug users with outreach workers.
So we're trying to kind of break that cycle now by just starting to, introduce people to service providers who can come out on the street that moment and hopefully make those connections that, convince people to go into recovery.
They've done this a total of 4 days. They have data from the first 3. In that time, police and outreach workers connected with 100 drug users. 25 wanted detox, 18 wanted treatment, and they're not currently tracking how many of them made it through those programs.
It's an exciting early stage of a pilot project. And we are intentionally going slow, not because the need isn't great, but because we need to make sure that we're actually able to help people.
There needs to be more treatment centers. There needs to be more recovery housing, support groups.
There is a line that you cross when you are an outreach worker asking people if they need help and then not being able to give it to them.
Portland police officers are not alone here. Other first responders, like those at Portland Fire and Rescue, are also taking new approaches at how to attack this deadly crisis.
crisis.
And we see firsthand the significant challenges that our city is facing.
When responding to an overdose, Portland Fire can now give medication to help ease withdrawal symptoms. And if the person is willing, connect them to long-term recovery services.
We are uniquely suited to provide this alternative solution to the tragic opioid and addiction crisis.
I think it's actually a really good idea rather than just arresting people.
And Blair joins us now. You know, I really couldn't help noticing police have only tried this new strategy a total of 4 days. What's happening the rest of the time?
Well, David, under Measure 110, they're still handing out those citations and fines when they see people using drugs in public. And they're doing that way more often than they are connecting them with outreach workers. And that's because there's just not enough available services for them to be doing that work all the time. Now, outreach workers are calling on the state to invest and prioritize in addiction treatment services during this next legislative session, which starts next week. David?
Yeah, big priority for so many people. Thank you, Blair. Appreciate that follow-up. Today marks the first day fishermen in Ilwaco, Washington can drop off their crab pots, and many are only able to do that thanks to community support. Earlier today, the town's fire department joined residents. No, this was not another fire. They sent the crabbers off with a water salute. It comes 1 week, though, after that fire broke out at the port, destroying thousands of crab pots. Other fishermen in Oregon and Washington up and down the coast came together to donate pots or to help make new ones to make sure those who suffered loss could still get out and make a living this season.
Joe come from Bellingham. Never met him, never heard of him in my life. Right here, Calvin, he's got a boat he's going to be fishing on out of Westport. Competition right there. He's here helping me.
Well, a fundraiser by the Ilwaco Tuna Club has now raised over $110,000 for those impacted by the fire.